Hello everybody, how do you fancy rowing along with me while I spend right about 22 minutes rowing 5,000 meters here? You can row with me, you can hit that 5,000 meters if you want to, or you could go further, you could go less, it's entirely up to you. What really matters is that kind of like the fact that you're rowing for 22 minutes. That's the point here. It's not about the actual distance, but if you've set a target, please try and hit your target, all right? Oh, strange intro. So that's what we're going to do today. I've got my head's all over the place, and literally it's all over the place. My hair, oh, I need a haircut. Let's get our machine set up. We can get into the row, do some rowing, and I'll talk to you then, all right? So set your drag factor, resistance, whatever you have on your machine, set that to where you want it to be. That means you want to be connected to the stroke. You want to be able to push with your legs, keeping arms straight in your forwards tilt, but you don't have to heave against it, okay? At the same time, don't have it so low that you're just kind of like flapping through the air, because then you're not going to get a good workout. Next up, go to your foot stretchers. The height that they're set at really does make a difference, and what you're looking for is to be able to come into the front of the machine with your shins in a vertical position comfortably. If you're too high, it's uncomfortable. If you're too low, it's too comfortable. You go past it, your backside will escape from underneath you, less effective workout. And then make sure and sit on the, more towards the front of the seat and more towards the front of your backside rather than the back of the seat on the back of your backside. Right, are we done? Good. I'm going to take off my hoodie. It's another cold one, or maybe I'm just cold-blooded. That's the problem. Right, and then we'll get into this. So, are you ready? Nice low-intensity workout. You can tell my brain all over the place like it is right now. It's going to have to be low intensity. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So, when you just start off on a workout like this, really just think about that rock of your back. Kind of everything else kind of falls into place if you do. If you keep straight arms as you come into the front of the machine and add the power, right? So that's number one thing you think about, is that straight arms, keep them straight, then pull. So if you think about that, and then just think about rocking forwards over your hips as you come into the front of the machine, and then rocking backwards. And we're only talking a 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock switch. So 1 to the front, 11 to the back. Just think about them. Everything else kind of takes care of itself. The rest is kind of just stargazing. It's all about setting things up. I'll talk a bit, I'll try not to have a big 7-minute rant about technique today, but I will return to it. Now you can see, if you're paying attention to the ErgData app, that I am again starting off really gentle today. 2:16 pace. Just to let my body ease into things. It's a bit early, I'm a bit cold, and I need to let my body warm up before I start doing any proper forceful exertion with the workout. And I'm doing this row, and then in about 2 hours time I'm going off to Castle's gym to film some my row workouts. So, and they're kind of a mixture of low, mid and high intensity intervals mostly, so I need to make sure that I have the energy to do them later, so I can make this one a nice low intensity workout. And the thing is that if you're like, maybe this is one of the first of my videos you've seen, okay? So this is the first time you rode along with me. In which case, yes, they're kind of always like this. Or maybe you've never quite put the thought into it, with different kind of intensities and the outcomes you get. But if you can be rowing right now, your heart rate has gone up. Not anywhere near maximum, but you can kind of feel your heart rate is up. You are now slightly out of breath, and you can feel that you're putting force from your legs into the machine. So you know your body is working. And what you're looking for is a kind of an intensity where you'll be able to have a conversation with somebody, but you'd be pleased when they were talking because it would give you a moment to catch your breath. Many ways to try and describe what a low intensity workout should feel like, but that's the best way. In fact, in terms of kind of making sure you're not working too hard, what I'd say is that you should be able to hold a conversation here, but you wouldn't be able to sing a song, because singing mostly requires you to constantly be breathing out when you're singing. That's what you're looking for, okay? So, and this kind of workout, if you're looking to improve your rowing, then this is amazing, because the low intensity, low pressure, no performance expectations side of this at a low stroke rate means that you can spend the time to really work on your technique, to make sure you're in the right positions at the catch and at the finish, and that you're doing the transitions from catch to finish and from finish to catch properly. Or maybe you are just trying to increase your fitness, or you're just looking to burn like 250 calories. Let's just say 200. Let's round down. But also with a real emphasis here on that fitness building side of the workout. Then these workouts are perfect, if only because you can come back day after day and do these. Yes, they will take like energy. You have to put in some work, but you're not working so hard that by the time you come back tomorrow, that you'll be fatigued. Like, I do these every day, Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, I'm tending to do the My Row community workout. Sunday, I do an EXER group row, and so what I tend to do is, like, Thursday maybe, I'll only do this in the morning, and because it's such a low intensity, it's effectively the same as a rest day, but I'm still getting the fitness benefits and the calorie burn from spending 22-ish minutes on the rowing machine. So being able to come back and exercise every day is much better than doing a session on a Monday with way too much intensity, so you then aren't able to return until Thursday. And I know that there's an element of, is it masochism, where we feel that if we're working really hard, breathing out of our ears, can hardly make it to the shower after a workout, and surely that's done as good, hasn't it? Well, yes, it has, but if you could only last 10 minutes of that intensity, and then you miss the next couple of days while your body recovers, or you could burn the same calories, get the same, or get improvements to your foundation fitness instead of VO2 max, which is just as important, and can comfortably row for 20 minutes. Another one I'd pick, the VO2 max, breathing out of your ears workouts, are definitely more exciting. I was about to say fun, but I think that's wrong. But these fitness building easy rows, I don't know. I mean, I think the reason I'm talking about this so much is that it still amazes me that I have to sell easy rowing. That when somebody sees 20 strokes a minute, low intensity, they go, oh, don't want to do that. Where else do you get given, hey, today's an easy day, but it's going to be incredibly effective for you? The only thing about a workout like this is that if you were to sit down and just load up 5,000 meters and then you don't put any music on, you don't have anything distracting you like me or whatever, you've just got the monitor in front of you, then sure, that's going to be 21, 22 minutes where you're just going to be alone with your thoughts. Again, you can concentrate on your rowing. You can look at your pace changes. Can you hold stroke rate? Can you row each of the 1,000 meters in exactly the same time? All that kind of stuff. But I'm not saying that a long, slow row doesn't need a bit of stimulation, but that's what I'm here for. Cracky, I'm doing a sales pitch without actually selling myself. That's why I'm here, and my rows are here. But it's also why apps like the one I'm using today, this is ErgData, Concept 2's own app, and instead of setting it to just the standard metrics, I've got it on the real-time loop, which just shows me traveling around kind of a virtual river, passing people. And in many ways, it's stimulating enough. Like I say, stick on a podcast or some music, have this playing, and then just switch off. Work on your technique. Work on the sequencing of hands away, sit up, tilt forwards, hoop, hoop, hoop. And then once your hands are past your knees and your head is just about to pass your knees, you bend your knees. So you've still got forwards movement happening before you bend your knees. It's not about hands away, forwards rock, and then like you kind of pause and then you bend your knees. That's not what you're doing. Everything flows. And then you bend your knees, roll into the front of the machine to shins vertical, and then push the machine away with your feet. And if you push while keeping your arms straight and a forwards tilt, then that power from your legs will go into the machine. And then you can add in your back and then finish off with your arm pull. So legs push, Halfway through that leg push, you swing your back, and then pretty much just as you started that back swing, you pull the handle in to sternum height, trying to keep wrists flat if you can, which I'm very lazy at doing. But it does help if you think about elbows coming slightly out to the side. Not chicken wings, but slightly out will allow your elbows to come through your sides while keeping wrists flat. And then you just repeat. Let the handle come away, sit up, tilt forwards, bend knees. Arms, body, legs. And then on the drive, legs, body, arms. Simples. So, I kind of already told you what my day's plans are. Yeah, make this, go and film a couple of workouts. If I have time today, I'm going to try again to do a ski erg workout. I did film one a couple of weeks ago when I was there, but the framing was all off. And although I edited it together, I wasn't really happy about putting it up here. So hopefully today I'll film one. You can all let me know what it's like. Likely just be 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. 5 times. Just a really short one, so you can let me know. Whew. All right, so I am at coming up for 3,600 meters here. And like I said in the intro, it really doesn't matter whether you are faster or slower than me. Well, it matters if you're faster than me, because that then triggers my competitive streak. But what matters is that you're getting a good workout here. And that means rowing at the intensity that suits you, but also making sure that you are powering into the machine. So just quickly to return, do make sure arms are straight, forward tilt as you push. That's the most important part. Don't pull from the front. And if you find you need to fight the weight of your machine, chances are your resistance is set too high. So let's change that. Lower it down a bit, maybe for your next workout. I do need to make a proper video about force curves, because that's where you know whether you're getting this right or not. But on a concept 2, the second button down on the right of the monitor, if you press that, it'll change your display to the force curve. And that's PM3, 4 or 5. I don't think the PM2 had it. And what you're looking for is a nice sharp rise at the start, rather than a low slope. And that means you're accelerating into the power of the stroke. And then, well, there's 3 things to watch out for. The first one is a lumpy force curve. So if you have big, like it's like a mountain range, it's not anywhere near smooth, then chances are you're not getting the transition from legs to back to arms smoothly. You're probably jerking from one to the other, which is why you'll get that kind of whoop, 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 roller coaster look to it. So that means that you need to work on that transition from legs to back to arms. The other one is, well, what you're looking for is that sharp acceleration increase, and then it kind of curves across the top for some distance, and then it'll then come down the other end. And if you get the sequencing right from legs to back to arms, that is how you get that longer curve point at the top of the force curve, where it kind of holds the top for, or top region for longer. And that's because you push with your legs in order to rise the start of the curve. And so your legs take it to the top, and then as your legs begin to fade halfway through their drive, you then add in your back. And so fading legs plus back is what continues that curve across the top. And then the final pull is what keeps the curve from just going and just completely just plummeting on the other end. And so what to look out for is, if you just have like a V, an upside down V, straight up, no hold, straight down again. Usually what that means is that you are swinging back, pulling your arms and pushing your legs at the same time. So you get that big acceleration at the front, but then there's nothing else to give. So it just goes, oh, and just drops off instantly. So if you see an upside down V, then I can almost guarantee that you are pushing, pulling and swinging at the same time. All right, my 5K is done. I'm gonna continue rowing. I'll try and hold 20. I'm just gonna cool down, because again, I'm off doing more rowing today. And it does, by the time the workouts themselves are about, well, whatever this duration, they're about 25 minutes between warm up, main workout and cool down. So I tend to do about 7,000 meters in each of the workouts. And then, not to break the magic of telly, but at the end, I'll then film any pickups, like if I think I got anything wrong, if I need to add in countdowns or anything, I'll film them. And invariably, that means I row around about another 1,000 meters. So when I go in this afternoon, I'll end up rowing about 15K between the two workouts. And that's adding on to the 6 that I've done in this workout. And I'll go back tomorrow and film 2 more. So that's effectively 2 half marathons, day after day. So That's why I'm doing a cool down here, just to make sure that my body is loose. Get the blood pumping through my muscles, so that when I do sit down and start rowing later on, it's comfortable. So, I mean, I'm throwing everything I can time-wise into what I'm doing here with the rowing stuff. It is a really interesting exercise. So if you didn't know, I finished editing the last program I was working on at the beginning of December, and then the next one I'm working on doesn't start again until about mid-March. And so I thought, well, I can either get in touch with loads of people and say, hey, have you got any TV that needs edited? Which isn't quite how it works. But also, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take this as a break to really focus on RowAlong, making the content for YouTube, making the content for Aviron, making the content for my row. And I have to say that between that, the emails and Facebook page, and the fact that I'm making a new app right now as well, I am twice as busy as I would be if I was at work. So it's getting to the point that I'm actually looking forward to starting back at work again. But hopefully by then I'll have a plan for how to keep these rows going, even if it means I record, because I can kind of record everything in place using the OBS software, so I don't have to take it into the edit afterwards. So I can come in the morning, set that up, row, and pretty much instantly upload it. So I could do that, and that way it would only really take about an hour to sort it, whereas right now it's about 45 minutes to set up and row, and then another 45 minutes to edit it, and then another 45 minutes to deal with it once it's been edited and uploaded. So I can't be doing that when I'm back at proper work, but I need to make sure and keep these 5K everydays going. There's no point saying 5K every day until March. My plan really is to do these every single day, because it just is really effective. I think it's interesting looking, hang on, let's get to 6K, then I'm going to stop. Ooh, one more stroke. Just want to get past. Boom, there we go. What's interesting is if you look at a video of me on the Friday row, and then the weekend happens, at which point I step off the gas or the brakes in terms of I will then eat like lots of pasta and cakes and biscuits and whatever. I'm not particularly structured right now, and even like this weekend I did have Sunday night I had some wine and whatever. So then you look at the video of me like yesterday. So if you compare yesterday's workout with me in the white t-shirt with Friday's workout, bring up the thumbnails side by side and look at me, you'll see that yesterday I'm quite kind of like puffy looking. Not like Michelin Man, but you'll see that my face is quite puffy. And that's because of the effects of the weekend, of just kind of like inflammation from eating rubbish and that kind of having a glass of wine. But then over the course of the 5 days of doing these, by the time I get to Friday again, I'll be back down and all that kind of, or even, maybe by today, if you compare thumbnails, although the hair is ridiculous. So, but yeah, we should be stretching, shouldn't we? But yeah, so that just shows how this, like doing 5 of these, like doing one of these every day, it does make a difference. So, right, stretching. I'm meant to be in a rush here and I'm talking away. Right, so put both legs back into the foot plates. This is if you're stopped and you're wanting to stretch. If you're still rowing, still row. Flick your toes back against the straps, put your hands in the air, fold your upper body forwards and dangle your arms either side of your legs. And the gravity that's happening here in terms of pulling your upper body down towards your legs means that as your hamstrings stretch off a little bit more in this position, gravity pulls your upper body down a little bit further, so you continue to get a good stretch. Because quite a lot of the ones where you just hold a static position, like when we go up to quads, you hold that position, but then as your quad stretches off, you're not changing anything. It's not a dynamic stretch in any way that helps, whereas this one is to stretch your hamstrings. Next up, glutes. What way do I do? Yeah, that way. So put one foot up on the rail. I put my heel on the flap between the foot plates. Bring this foot up and over, like the opposite foot up and over your knee, so that your ankle is in the crook of your knee. So I'm trying to work out how to explain this for the podcast people. It's quite tough. And then pull that knee across your body, so you've got a straight line between your face, the knee, and the monitor. Hold that knee in position with your other arm. Hold on to the back of the machine. Good posture, and then rotate around, okay? Rotate to the side in the direction of like the knee that's up in the air. And then you should get a really good stretch down here in your glutes. Now I've just, I meant to say this right at the beginning, but I thought I'd have a little bit of fun today. Fun, inverted commas. I'm wearing like bright yellow, like kind of high-vis socks, okay? The more mild high-vis socks, which are kind of bright greeny, whatever. Basically, green screen green. So I'm figuring, hoping, if this works, that you should be able to see through my ankle here. Yeah, possibly. Maybe if I do it this way, you should be able to see like the background through my ankle. Swap legs. Just it's like, hey, how can we mix up the row? I know. Let's give me see-through ankles. That'll do it. Yes, I think the problem with these Tuesdays is that because I know I've got to get off to Castles quite sharp after making these, and I'm trying to squeeze in so many things, I think my brain can't compute. I think that's why like the intro today was a little bit garbled. Let's go up and do quads next. Hold on to the monitor. If I'm going to quickly move the iPad over. Hold on to the monitor for stability if you need to. Bring one knee up in front of you. That will allow you to grab onto your ankle as you then pull your foot backwards and hold your heel against your backside. What was I saying about how busy I was? Oh yeah, and random intro. Oh. And I think that's why, like today, I don't think I even had capacity to tell any. I recognise that face of the woman that's going past there, and I've seen her on here before. Not like I know her, but I've seen her here before. Isn't that funny when you start to recognise the people? Yeah, where it wasn't like a story-based day today, really, was it? It was more. I was talking more about the importance of just understanding workouts like this and actually falling in love with them. Like if you can do a workout, did I just say I'd change legs? Can't remember, just for podcast people. If you can look at a workout like this as, oh, I'm so happy I get to just do an easy row for 20 minutes, then you'll unlock like just fitness that you'd never know is there. I mean, it's really important that you enjoy easy rowing. And as I said, like I say, I do find it funny how I have to try and sell this all the time. I really would have thought it'd be like the really hard, fast stuff that you have to sell, not the easy stuff. So hands in front of you, push them together, and then bring them down in front of your body. My thumbs are now in my sternum, and I'm getting a really nice stretch into my wrists and forearms. If you rotate your hands, that can change where that feels. Like if you're kind of, you can see, again, sorry podcast people, but I can kind of point my hands more towards the camera or back. And then coming back definitely increases the stretch. Pushing the fingers together helps the fingers get stretched, all that stuff. So it's all about kind of making sure that you get the right stretch for you. Right, shoulders next. So I'm going to point towards the camera. You can point towards the TV screen or the iPad or whatever, and then bring your arm across your body and then use your other arm to help that arm come completely across your body. So my arm is now perpendicular? Is it perpendicular? It's perpendicular to my chest. No, it's parallel to my chest, but it's perpendicular in terms of me standing up. Isn't it? That's right, isn't it? Yeah. So it's parallel to the line of my chest, but from me standing up, it's perpendicular. For the fact that Jamie, my eldest, is doing higher maths right now, and Holly is, S2, so she's starting to get into the proper Nat 5 stuff. I should really know more about at least perpendicular and and parallel. Sorry, folks, I just swapped arms, podcast people. What was Holly trying to describe? Oh, it was gradients. She was telling me all about how to calculate gradients in the car yesterday, as in like if you're on a hill, how you calculate the gradient, and basically giving me all of the calculations behind it. And I'm just kind of thinking, crikey, it's just incredible that she knows that she could just basically in the car while we're driving, she's giving me all the like X blah 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 whatever it was. I can't remember anymore. She just told me. But yeah, it is incredible. And it's like I made, this will be the last thing I say and then I'm going to go, so I made, it's unlisted, so you'd have to find it through the Facebook channel. So I still got, and it really itchy nose. I think maybe I do need to get nose hair pulled out. I've been working on this app, okay, so the RowAlong app. And I posted a walkthrough of it on the Facebook group, on the RowAlong Facebook group. So it's uploaded on YouTube, but it's unlisted because I don't want everyone to see it. I only really want kind of like the people who know about RowAlong, because there's quite a lot of ideas in there that aren't in other apps, and so I don't want someone to go, oh, that's a nice idea, and steal it off me. So it's up there. Anyway, so if you are a member of the Facebook group, you'll find it, my little walkthrough of the app. But my point here is that at the very beginning of it, because I was just doing a screen capture while kind of talking through a webcam, and my office where I edit these videos is below Holly's bedroom, where she has her piano. And I've done a thing with her where I said to her, if you remember yesterday's story about going to see Interstellar, it's because I really like it, and the music in Interstellar is just amazing. It's lovely. And you know how you get pianos and things in like airports and train stations where there's like a piano that just sits there. So I said, so Holly plays keyboard. And I said to her, if you can learn how to, apologies if I've told you this story before. If I have, then bye, go have a shower and stuff. I said to her, if you can learn how to play the Interstellar, the kind of like the fast piece, like flawlessly, and you can play that in like one of these an airport or a train station or whatever, and with like people around or whatever, if you can do that, I will give you quite a generous sum of money. I won't tell you how much I'm going to give her, but quite a lot of money if she can get it right, as a kind of like dangling the carrot in front of her face, to get her to kind of, because there was a point when she was just kind of sitting there, she was playing stuff, but she wasn't really like every night playing. And I think for piano and keyboard, I think you really have to put in the time, and it's a really complicated piece to play in terms of both hands. Anyway, so in this video for that app, at the beginning of it, you can hear her playing Interstellar upstairs. And again, I'm a drummer. My musical knowledge is just, and so this stuff I should have been talking about during the row, isn't it? Or maybe we should talk about it tomorrow as well. But yeah, but just hearing her do something that I have absolutely no capacity to be able to do myself is just astounding. And it's one of the gifts of being a parent, isn't it? Is making something that then can do something that you cannot do. So anyway, right, I'm done with my stories, I'm done with everything. Hopefully you're done with your row. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you'll be back tomorrow. I'll try and be a bit more entertaining with stories tomorrow rather than just talking about technique and motivation, but sometimes you need to hear that. So go have a shower, have something to eat, have something to drink, and tell somebody you love them or something that you love them. I mean, go up to a tree if you want and go, you know what, tree, thank you for giving me oxygen. I love you. It might really appreciate that. Who knows? Okay, so I will see you in the next video. Until then, please look after yourselves. Take care, row well, be well. Bye-bye.